Welcome to video M18A on management control. So chapter 18 has 3 videos, and this is the first of them. And we're going to start with something a little bit different.
They're the people who really run this country.
Hey, you guys, I got this great accounts receivable joke. See, there's a secretary.
You work with them every day.
Great memo, Mr. Deppa.
And now, they're the hit of the TV season.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, look, we need to take a meeting.
Yeah, maybe after break.
Oh, I'm getting another call. Can you hold? Yeah.
They're the ineffectual middle management suck-ups. Tonight, on the ineffectual middle management suck-ups.
And according to our latest employee survey, 4% of the workers say middle management here is doing a good job, while the other 96% say that middle management here sucks big time.
Well, that's good news. That means that our approval rating has gone up since last year. That's great. Great. Now, Tracy, I understand you're working on some graphs?
Yes. This line represents our profitability. This is our productivity. And this line is the number of meetings we've taken.
Wow, good.
What kind of pens are you using?
Oh, they're wonderful. They're called Sanford Expos.
They're really bold.
Really strong colors. I've enjoyed working with them.
Sorry I'm late. I just came from the finance Q&A. Jenkins from accounting embezzled $2 million. Upper management says if we can't figure out a way to make that up by the end of the day, we're out of business.
Now, we've got to figure out how to make up $2 million today. That means that we've got to come up with an innovative, dynamic, and brilliant idea. Or I guess we could cut the budget.
Yes. Let's cut the budget. Cut.
Excellent.
Now, I think we should start with the non-essentials. So let's get rid of research and development. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's gone.
And creative.
Oh, creative. Get rid of that.
Quality control?
No.
The marketing department?
Gone.
How about food service? Well, I don't know. I think we got to really think about this. Well, these are all very good suggestions. And, you know, we also have the option of firing people.
I'm sorry, what?
You know, I mean, we could lay some people off. Okay. What I mean to say is, I think we could redistribute the redundancy. We could outplace some of the workforce. We could downsize. We could stimulate some challenges to creativity in the workforce.
This all sounds really good, but even with that, we still are going to have to make up $200,000.
Well, we could make the employees sell their plasma.
Sell their plasma. Sell plasma.
How about a bake sale?
Bake sale? Okay, but you know, with that, we still have to make up another $100,000. Now, I hate to say this, people, but I think we're going to have to take a look at that retreat schedule. I'm sorry, but I think we're going to have to.
Okay. We've got the team building workshop in Rio, the employee relations seminar in Fargo, and the stress management meetings in Hawaii.
What was that about Fargo?
Fargo, North Dakota, it's where we learn to be nice to our employees.
Gone. It's gone. Cut it. That's it. It's solved. That's it. What do you think? Lunch?
So hopefully you enjoyed that. Management control is just about middle management, right? So there's operational control, and that's when managers are managing processes or the operations. And then there's management control, and that's when managers are managing managers. So it tends to be longer term, more strategic focus, and it also tends to be pulling away from the operating level. So here's a diagram that shows top management. You can see that top management, the chief executive, sits over top of marketing management and ops management. And that's where management control takes place, is at that level, whereas operational control takes place down at the bottom level. So a manager typically sits atop of a strategic business unit, SBU, and SBU is a bit of a generic term like widget. And the idea is that's a set of controllable operating activities over which a manager has control. And one of the important things that we're going to talk about as we work our way through management control is this idea of activities over which a manager has control, because non-controlled activities, it's much harder to hold someone responsible for those. So typical SBUs we think of as cost centers, profit centers, revenue centers, or investment centers. And we'll talk about those more later. So motivating managers to exert a high level of effort to achieve the goals that are set by top management, think of that as one of the primary goals of what management control is trying to get at. It's trying to provide the right incentives for managers to make decisions that are consistent with the goals that are set by top management. So think of that as aligning the manager's efforts with the desired strategic goals. So management control is also designed to reward fairly the effort that managers put into their job and their decision making. So, a fair reward seems appropriate. So one of the common mechanisms that's employed for achieving these multiple objectives is the idea of an employment contract. And that's an employment contract between top management and the manager. And again, the idea is kind of promoting this goal congruence, which is it's trying to specify the manager's desired behaviors and the compensation that's going to be awarded to them for achieving specific outcomes using those behaviors. And like a management contract can be written for sure, but it can also be unwritten. And it can be explicit or implied. So one of the reasons that this management contract is so important is that management performance that affects the contracting relationship is subject to two interesting characteristics that we need to think about. The first is uncertainty, and the second is lack of observability. So managers operate in an environment that is influenced by factors that are beyond their control, which means that there's always some degree of uncertainty surrounding them. And then the second thing is this idea of lack of observability. Typically, top managers are not able to observe entirely all the decisions and efforts made by the manager underneath them. And so often we think of that as private information, or the manager possesses information that top management doesn't have. And if you get into the corporate governance area, what you would find is that the same is true in a large public corporation, right? So you've got management and then you've got the shareholders. And the shareholders don't have perfect visibility into what management is doing with their company. And so this is the same sort of problem here. All right, that brings us to the end of video M18A on management control. On to the next video.